It's time for another episode of The Get Up. What's the Get Up? It's a chance to pull back your day like a slingshot and launch you with encouragement, motivation, and practical advice you can apply immediately. Today's episode is 5 ways to win when you work from home. I've worked from home for the last 7 years. I don't mean I had flex time and spent every other Wednesday at home. I don't mean I got summer Fridays on my couch. I mean, since September 2013, I worked full-time at home. I feel a bit like Bane from the Batman movie this month with everyone else working from home too.
Oh, you think the darkness is your ally, but you merely adopted the dark. I was born in and molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then, it was nothing to me, but behind me.
That's a little dramatic, but working from home makes you dramatic. The truth of the matter is, working from home is challenging. It took me about a year to feel comfortable, productive, and successful. Guess what? I don't want it to take you a year. So here are 5 ways you can win when you work from home. Number 1, pick your spot. You might not have an office with a door that closes at home. Oh, dare to dream. But it's important that you establish your workspace. It can be the kitchen table, it can be the back porch, or even a small closet. The reason it matters is that if you're not careful, I can work anywhere will turn into I need to work everywhere. You'll look up one day and realize you can't remember the last time you watched TV without a laptop open doing some work. You need a space, a consistent space that cues your brain and your family that you're at work and then you're off work. The number 2 tip, build a new commute. I live in Nashville now, and everyone thinks we have terrible traffic, but Nashville traffic is adorable. I lived in Atlanta for 6 years. That city will change a man. The traffic in Nashville is nothing. The first 6 months we lived there, my wife and I were 30 minutes early to every dinner party because we are so conditioned to expect the worst that we would leave an hour early for a 20-minute drive expecting it to be like Atlanta. I hate traffic. I really do. But you know what's crazy? When I started working from home, I missed my commute. I did. I didn't realize how important a bit of decompression was for my sanity. I didn't understand how many phone calls I was making to friends and family members during my commute. I didn't understand that I needed a little bit of time, that bite of ginger between sushi rolls to clear my palate between work and home. If you do too, if you need that, there's a simple solution. Walk out your commute. Every morning, start your workday at home with a 10-minute walk around the neighborhood and then end it the same way. You'll clear your head, get a little bit of endorphins, which is always nice, and create a healthy boundary for your day. Number 3, give your kids lots of grace. If you have kids, they're going to interrupt you constantly when you work from home. How could they not? Think about it this way. If you have a 5-year-old, for 5 straight years, you trained that kid to think that if they saw mom or dad at home, it meant it was the end of the workday, a vacation day, or the weekend, and you could play. Now that entire arrangement is different. All at once, that entire arrangement is different. And I know you set them down and told them, hey, I work from home now. I know you put a note on your door that said, Mommy's working. I know you made your 5-year-old sign a non-disclosure agreement in case he overhears any trade secrets, but you have to give them grace. You're sending a few weeks of working from home up against 5 years of habit. It's going to be a little challenging. Give your kids lots of grace. Number 4, check in with coworkers often. You know you're feeling isolated when you start bothering the UPS guy with personal conversation. Whoa, wait, Gary, don't just leave the box. How's your family doing? Oh, you like brown shorts? I like the color brown. I do. You might not realize it, but when you work in an office, you have 1,000 micro social interactions all day. You talk to a friend as you walk to your cubicle. You see a coworker in the break room. You go to lunch with a bunch of people unplanned. You're interacting constantly. The reason you feel isolated right now is simple. You're isolated. You have to fight for community, even if it's digital. You have to say, okay, I'm going to text a coworker. I'm going to Zoom somebody. I'm going to call someone. You need to go out of your way to create as many new social interactions as you can, or you're going to get really isolated. And number 5, way to win at home, reset your expectations. Easiest way to get frustrated when you work from home is to demand home be the exact same thing that the office was. If you expect your house to act and function and your goals to function the same way as they did in an office, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Take, for instance, the printer. Guess who's in charge of the printer now? you. Remember when you were in an office and you could call somebody and their whole job was to fix printers and they had toner for days? Like they didn't have to shake the toner to try to get out 7 more pages of ink. Do you remember that? Well, guess who's in charge of the printer now? You are. Guess who's in charge of fixing Zoom when it doesn't work? You are. You have a lot more responsibilities. There's tremendous freedom in working from home, but there's also tremendous responsibilities. You have to let work at home and work at an office be separate entities. Let working from home be its own unique experience, or you're going to get really, really frustrated. I love working from home. I loved working in an office. They both have benefits. They both have weaknesses. I hope this list has been helpful. I'd love to give you a few more tips, but I think I just heard the UPS truck and Gary's kid just had a birthday, and I don't want to miss that story in case he just drops the box off and runs away. So I've got to get going. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe. This has been another episode of The Get Up.